Hey everyone, ready to totally ace that budget analyst interview?
We're here to help.
We're going deep on some of those super common questions they love to throw at you.
Using a great article as our guide.
It's called 10 plus proven budget analyst interview questions plus answers from workable.com. Think of this as your secret weapon,
More than just answers.
Not just what to say, but what they're really trying to figure out about you.
Exactly.
Okay, so first up, almost always is that classic. Walk me through the process of preparing a budget.
Right.
The sample answer in the article, talks about gathering data, analyzing trends, projections, the whole 9 yards. But honestly, it feels a little basic, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit.
Like, how do you make your answer stand out? Not just, yep, I know the steps.
It's like, imagine you're building a house. You wouldn't start with the roof, right?
No. Foundation first.
Interviewers want to see that you get the whole flow, that sequential thinking.
Okay, so it's about showing that you have a methodical approach.
Totally.
Yeah.
You gather that raw data, right? You look at those historical trends.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to predict the future, figure out where things are going.
Anticipate those needs.
Then carefully allocate resources, not just knowing the steps.
Yeah.
It's understanding how they all connect, like building blocks.
So it's about conveying a thought process, not just reciting steps.
Yeah.
But what if they ask about a process you haven't actually used? Like, how do you still show that structured thinking?
Ah, that's smart. Well, I'd say you lean on those core principles. No matter what the specific process is, highlight that you can break down complex tasks.
Okay, break it down.
Prioritize effectively.
Gotta have those priorities.
And make sure every single step is taking you toward the final goal.
I like that. So next up in the article, we've got looking ahead. Tell me how you go about preparing a forecasting report.
Ooh, getting into the future now.
The sample answer mentions analyzing historical data, KPIs, and statistical projections. This is getting pretty technical, right?
Yeah.
Help us out here. What are they really digging into with this question?
It's all about those analytical skills. Can you think beyond what's right in front of you?
Be a visionary. A little bit.
Kinda like a financial detective. You're using past data to predict future trends and potential problems too.
Spotting those red flags.
Exactly. They want to see if you can spot patterns, understand those KPIs, key performance indicator,
The vital signs of a business.
and use all of that to tell a clear story about what's coming next.
Got it. So it's not just crunching numbers. It's using those numbers to actually tell a story. Now, this next one feels like a test. When reviewing a funding request, what kind of information do you need?
Oh, this is a good one.
The sample answer focuses on project plans, expected ROI, and cost breakdowns. But why are those so crucial?
You're putting on your financial feasibility hat,
Yeah.
Like if someone was pitching you on their business idea, you'd want a detailed plan, right?
Absolutely. Where's the money going? What's the return?
Same for funding requests. Interviewers want to see if you can tell if a project makes financial sense and if it lines up with the organization's big goals.
Like the detective again, huh? Looking for clues to see if a project is actually worth the investment.
Right.
Okay, let's jump into a real-world situation. The article asks, imagine an executive tells you there's some inconsistency between the approved budget and actual expenditure at a department. What do you do?
Uh-oh. Problems.
Variance analysis is mentioned in the sample answer, but I gotta be honest, that sounds kind of intimidating. What does it even mean? And what are they hoping you'll say?
Don't let the fancy words scare you. Variance analysis just means figuring out why things don't match up.
Budget versus reality.
Right. Like, why is the spending different from what we planned? Like a detective's magnifying glass.
Okay, I get the data part, but what about those soft skills, like communication? Got any real-world examples of how that makes a difference in budget stuff?
For sure. Let's say you find this big budget discrepancy. Just showing a cold, hard data report, that might not be enough.
People got to understand it.
You need to explain the problem, right? What could happen if we don't fix it? And then work with those department heads to find a solution. You're bridging the gap between numbers and people.
So you're not just a number person, you're a storyteller, a diplomat.
And a problem solver.
Now, what about when things get really hectic? The article asks, if you had to prepare several budgets at the same time, how would you prioritize?
Oh, yeah.
Deadlines and complexity are mentioned. But is there a, secret formula to juggling all that?
Time management, my friend. That's your superpower.
Oh, I need to work on that one.
They want to know, can you handle the pressure? Can you hit those deadlines without losing it?
It's cool.
You need those organizational skills to prioritize, delegate if you have to,
Right.
and maybe even use some tech tools to keep everything on track.
Like project management apps or good old spreadsheets.
Anything to show you're the master of your time.
I love it. All right, so we've tackled those big process questions, but there are a few more in this article that seem more like about you. Like, tell me about your experience with cost-benefit analysis, or how would you rate your data analysis skills?
Right.
Those feel trickier to prep for. Any advice?
These are your chances to let your personality and your experience shine through. Be honest. Be specific. And don't be afraid to show a little, humility,
So instead of saying, I'm a data analysis rock star,
which you might be.
I wish, but instead give a specific example of how you actually use those skills to make a difference, right?
Exactly. And if there's an area where you're, still learning,
We all have those.
be upfront about it.
Yeah.
But frame it like, hey, this is where I'm growing.
So like I'm taking this course or I'm reading about the latest techniques, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Shows you're always striving to be better.
This is giving me so many ideas. It's like I'm starting to see the strategy behind these questions.
That's what we want.
Welcome back, everyone.
Back for more.
Still digging into these budget analyst interview questions.
And you know what's really interesting to me?
What's that?
It's how much they focus on how you handle those, tricky situations.
Yeah. It's not just about the numbers.
It's that mix of analytical skills and, being able to communicate well.
Right. You got to talk the talk and walk the walk.
And this next question really puts both of those to the test.
Mhm.
Tell me about a time you made a suggestion that resulted in a significant spending cut.
Ooh. Yeah. It's that classic tell me about a time kind of question.
So classic.
But how do you even pick the right example to share? And what makes a story really, work here?
It's not just about bragging about saving money, right?
There's got to be more to it.
It's about showing your initiative,
Yeah.
how you solve problems. So pick a story that shows you can analyze a situation, find inefficiencies, and come up with solutions that really make a difference.
So don't just say, I cut spending by 10%.
Right. Give them the details, paint a picture.
Yeah.
The challenge, what you were thinking, the actions you took, and then that positive outcome.
So how did you achieve that? What specific steps?
Exactly. Show them those receipts, You're not just talking, you're proving it.
All right, this next one feels a little intimidating. Recall a time you had to defend a budget recommendation to a demanding executive. Was the recommendation approved in the end?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I'd be sweating bullets. Any tips for handling that gracefully?
This question isn't really about whether you won't or not. It's more about, how did you handle the pressure?
Stay professional.
Can you stand your ground? Can you make a strong argument, back it up with data,
Yeah.
and stay professional even if they're pushing back?
So even if you didn't get your way in the end?
You could still shine. Did you adjust your communication style to the executive? Did you see their concerns coming and get ahead of them? That's what they're looking for.
So it's all about those soft skills again. Communication, negotiation.
Advocating for your ideas.
Now let's shift gears to, communicating with a bigger audience. Describe a time when you had to present a budget recommendation to a multidisciplinary audience. How did you make yourself understood to all of them? Why is this skill so important for a budget analyst?
Because budgets touch everything.
You're working with all these different departments.
You can be talking to engineers, marketers, salespeople, all in the same room maybe. Each group has their own priorities.
Yeah.
Different levels of financial understanding.
Right.
They want to know, can you tailor your message so everyone gets it and make sure everyone's on the same page?
So it's less about the technical jargon.
Yeah, so jargon.
And more about explaining those complex financial concepts so everyone understands.
Big time. Visual aids are your friend here.
Yeah.
Charts, graphs,
Yeah.
even those simple infographics.
Oh, I love a good infographic.
They can make your points so much clearer and more engaging too. And think about using real-world examples, stuff that each department can relate to.
Tailor it to your audience.
If you can speak their language, show them how the budget impacts them, you'll get everyone on board.
Okay, let's tackle another problem-solving one. The article asks, give me an example of a time you used financial information to solve a problem.
Okay.
This one feels pretty open-ended. Where do you even start?
Think back to a time when you were, a financial detective.
Yeah.
You had to use data to untangle a mess.
Okay.
Maybe you saw a pattern of overspending in one area, and you dug in to figure out why.
Right. Get to the root of it.
Or you analyzed some past data to find ways to save money. Whatever the situation, walk them through your process. How'd you get the data? What did you learn?
And the most important part,
How did that lead to an actual solution?
it's like that aha moment.
Yes, when the numbers show you the way.
Okay, let's face it, budgets can be a source of conflict.
Yeah.
So how do you handle disagreements without, things getting ugly? This next question is all about that. Tell me about a time you had a disagreement with a department's manager over the budget.
Oh boy. Don't shy away from this one. Disagreements happen, especially with budgets. It's all about how you approach it.
So it's an opportunity.
It is. You can show them you can handle conflict,
Yeah.
stay professional, stay objective, even when things get heated. Did you really listen to the other person?
Understand their perspective.
Did you find common ground? Compromise? Did you get to a solution that was best for everyone?
So it's not about winning the argument, it's about finding a solution that works for everyone.
Exactly. Budget analysts don't work alone. They got to collaborate. Showing that you can handle disagreements well, that's a big plus.
Wow, we've covered so much. It's amazing how these questions show what it really takes to be a successful budget analyst. It's the soft skills, the problem solving, the communication.
It's a whole package.
And there's one more question that can really help you stand out, one that lets you show all of those qualities. We'll get to that in part 3. All right, back for the final round of our budget analyst interview, deep dive.
The grand finale.
We've prepped for those technical questions.
Polish those stories.
Now, for the curveball.
Here it comes.
This question, it kind of threw me off at first.
It gets a lot of people.
It's the one about what are some areas of improvement for you as a budget analyst? Honestly, my stomach dropped a little when I first heard it.
I get it.
It feels like a trap, like they're trying to get you to admit all your weaknesses.
Well, for sure.
But there's got to be a better way to think about it, right?
There totally is. Yeah. Don't see it as a test. See it as an invitation.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
An invitation.
They're not looking for someone who's perfect.
Because no one is.
They want to see self-awareness
Okay.
and that growth mindset.
Yeah.
We all have areas we can get better at.
Absolutely.
What matters is, are you aware of them? Yeah. And are you trying to grow?
Okay, so instead of panicking, what's a good way to handle this question?
Be honest. Be humble. Pick 1 or 2 areas where you're genuinely trying to level up your skills.
Or be real about it.
Yeah. Maybe you're really getting into a specific type of analysis. Or you're taking a course to get better at presentations.
Yeah. Invest in yourself.
The trick is to frame it positively, Show them you're committed to always learning.
So it's here's where I'm at, but here's where I'm going.
Yes.
And I'm excited about it.
Exactly. Don't be complacent. Show them that you're driven to expand your knowledge and become even better.
Wow, that changes my whole perspective on that question. Now I almost want them to ask it.
I know, right?
And like you said, it's just one question in the whole interview.
One piece of the puzzle.
We've covered so much in this deep dive.
A lot of ground.
All those tough technical questions, the soft skills, even turning a scary question into a chance to shine.
We got it.
It's been awesome.
Preparing for these interviews, it can be stressful. But if you approach it the right way, you can really show off what you know.
And who you are.
Remember, you're not just a number person. You're a strategic thinker, a problem solver, a communicator who can handle that complex financial world.
I love that. You've given our listeners so much to think about. And before we go, we always like to leave you with a final thought, something from the article that we can all chew on.
Keep those brains working.
The article mentioned that experience can sometimes be just as good as a degree.
Interesting point.
So if you were the one doing the interviewing, what kind of experience would really impress you?
Good question.
Something to think about as you keep on learning and leveling up your budget game.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving deep.